Hey guys, the end of the year is a pretty busy time for me, so let me just catch up real quick. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to you if you also had a birthday in December, and Happy New Year's. So I've had this idea for a while where I do a regular recap of what I achieved in MapleStory the past week or two. I was supposed to start working on this a while back, but unfortunately a lot of things happened. For starters, my old PC broke. And then Ren came out and I accidentally deleted the video I was working on while trying to free up space on my hard drive. And then the holidays happened, which is just a busy time in general for me, so I decided what better time to recap than start off with a 2025 recap. My very first video on the channel did a pretty good job recapping the year up until October, so if you want to hear how the year went up until then, feel free to check out that video after this one. My two strongest characters right now are my Nightwalker and my Ren. Earlier this year when I started on my Nightwalker, I wasn't bossing at all, so eventually I hit a point in the game where I couldn't even beat the story mode Kalos. I ended up joining a guild and our guild leader would regularly carry a large group of us and bosses every week for months. He ruined his own Meso gain for us. And also, he recently hit rank 1 Kali in Reboot, so huge shout out to him. After we got strong enough, he told us he was kicking us out of the nest and we're bossing on our own. So now the question is, how far have I gotten in the months since then on my Nightwalker? To be perfectly honest, not nearly as far as a better player could have gone in that same amount of time, but I've been learning along the way. I just barely managed to surpass 200 million combat power before the end of the year. I was around 90 million combat power by the time I was liberating, and in the 2 months since then, I've gained over 100 million combat power. So how did I do it? Well, liberating, sunny Sundays, insane luck, and cube sale. After liberating, I was 173 mil combat power with event buffs. But it was very inflated because I had boss lines on my weapon, secondary, and emblem. The first of my gains after liberating actually lowered my combat power, but it was worth it. Cube sale rolled around first, and I had a lot saved. I decided to blue cube my weapon until I saw 3-line attack. And I was ready to not see it at all, but I locked in. After 35 minutes of cubing, I hit these lines. I have a lot of cubes left, so I move on to my secondary. 1 hour, 42 minutes later, this happens. Another 3-line. Incredible luck. With a good amount of cubes left, I move on to my emblem. 1 hour, 57 minutes in, I hit this. 2-line attack with all stat. Not perfect, but good enough for me to move on. Something I've had bad luck with all year is hybrids on my items. During the summer update, I hit a triple hybrid Gollux ring and I haven't seen a single hybrid since. So I start cubing to finish my drop gear. After cubing for a little bit, I get my first hybrid of the night. Double drop with my main stat. Insane luck. I roll my next item and it happens again. Double drop with main stat. So I move on to the last piece of gear, this time with drop and Meso with main stat again. The night doesn't end here. I saved my bosses until after I cubed in case I blew through all my Meso. Sure enough, I spent all I had, so I went to go do my bossing. After some quick boss runs, I arrive at Lucid. After defeating her, this pops out of the box. A Dreamy Belt. I keep doing my bosses and this happens. An eye patch also dropped. So just to recap, in one night, I 3-lined my weapon and secondary, got 2-line attack with all stat on my emblem, I finished my drop gear and got main stat on all of them, I did my bosses, and I got 2 pitched. And in case you don't think this happened all in one night, here's a screenshot of me using the guild Discord as my diary with timestamps and the date. But because I lost some of my boss damage lines, my combat power did go down visually, but I do not mind in the slightest. Insane night, I didn't think I'd ever get that lucky ever again. However, the year isn't over and sure enough, my luck continues. During a sunny Sunday, I tapped the eye patch to 18. It is better than the black bean mark I was using, so I'm keeping it here for now. Later down the road, there's a 30% off sunny Sunday. I have a lot of spares in my inventory and I only have around 10 billion on my account. I decide I want to just burn through my spares to make room as 10 bill isn't a whole lot for tapping. So on December 13th, I tap a Dominator Pendant and a Slime Ring. Instead of booming my spares like I thought, they both go way further than I could have ever imagined. I see a 24-star show up on my screen. I was really tempted to keep going, but I only started with 10 bill. So I move on to the slime ring. Same thing happens. It keeps going up and up. My current slime ring was actually 22 at the time, so I start laddering them. The spare goes all the way to 24 and my equipped ring goes to 23 before booming to 24. I decide to save my remaining meso so I can start cubing these two items. 2 different 24 stars on a 30% off event is insane. The boom rates aren't lowered on the Sunny Sunday either, so I'm just completely blown away. Insanely below average cost for seeing 2 different 24 star items. But once again, my luck isn't even over. Exactly 2 weeks later is December 27th. Today is Shining Star Force. And also my birthday. I get home very late today, but I want to grind. I do my bosses and tap my items, and Inkwell must have known it was my birthday. First up is the bosses. My source of suffering named Hilla decides to drop me a source of suffering. And now that I have some meso from bossing, I decide to go tap my items. Unfortunately for me, this year I've barely seen any arcane boxes, so I can't push my arcanes too far right now. I get one of them to 20 stars and I move on. I still have way too many spares because they didn't boom last time, so I get to tapping my KT. And this KT decides it's also going to go the distance. Another 24 star. New Year's rolls around and it's on a Wednesday. I want to do my last bosses of the year after reset. However, thankfully for you guys who are probably hate watching me right now at home, my luck runs out. Nothing drops and that's where my Nightwalker ends this year. Also, I wanted to tap on the last ever 5, 10, 15 months ago for content, and that was a part of the video I accidentally deleted. My first ever Eternal went to 21 stars on the 5, 10, 15, but it's sitting in my inventory. And here's a gear showcase of my Nightwalker before I move on to my Ren. I would like to get better lines and hopefully more arcanes to start pushing 22s on everything, but without more spares, this is where I'm at right now. I am going to try and hold out to see if I can 25 or even 26 star a Dom before I infuse to my source. Everyone I talked to told me that 3 set pitched doesn't give me that much power over a 24 star Dom, so I should hold off until I get more pitched or have an insane infusion angle. So my 2 Dreamy Belts, my source, and my 21 star hat are sitting in my inventory for now. Now, onto my Ren. I would love to main swap to this class, but I refuse to buy another Vac Pet right now, so it's in daily story mode until we get Universal Cash Shop. Or I win the lottery, whichever comes first really. During my time on Ren, I have actually made very little gains, but I've still seen a decent amount. First off, I paid 30k NX to liberate, so I'm liberated. Second, I've managed to hit 1 arcane box, which is now 18 stars with 1 line of crit. And the biggest one is on December 24th, New Year's Eve. That is not New Year's Eve. What the fuck did I just write in the script? And the biggest one is on December 24th, Christmas Eve. I got Willbook, my first ever pitched on Ren. Here's to many more. I do have a bunch of videos planned, but I'm moving this month, so I do apologize if they're not coming out at a regular pace. The holidays are over, but the busy life continues. My next video will be a New Year's video where I talk a bit more in depth about what I have planned for MapleStory and the channel, so stay tuned for that. I know it's a couple days late, but I wanted to finish the recap video first. If you made it this far, let me know what your favorite part of 2025 was. And also let me know if you like this type of video and where I can improve on it, as this is supposed to be a regular thing on my channel, so I wanted it to be as entertaining as possible. And as always, take care and I hope to see you in the next video.